John, everything that kind of went wrong for you against Villanova seemed to turn around today. Was it something, a message to your team, or just a stronger start, or a lot of stuff?
You're really trying to find out what
I am. I'm very interested in what you had.
Coming back to
whatever
it worked. What did you say to your team?
Whatever it worked, John. Whatever.
I think we had a much better start. We made some shots early, which led to good defense early, and then Seton Hall, as all good teams do, made a big run. And once again, we still we have a week. We really need to work on this. Too many times this year, when the other team is making a run, we respond with poor offense, meaning poor decisions. And so we had a couple of those possessions, and all of a sudden, whatever the lead was, 18-19, I'm not sure whether they got to 20 in the first half. It might have ends up being 5 at halftime. But they're a good team, and they have good offensive players, and that's going to happen. And then in the second half, I think we settled down a little bit and turned our offense over until we got good shots. We weren't necessarily forcing. We had a few possessions when we did. There's no doubt about that, which we still need to talk about. But that, we can't let a bad defensive possession turn into a bad offensive possession, or vice versa. And so we just have to minimize the amount of times that happens.
Could you discuss the composure of your team after they tie at 44, then you go on a 17-4 run?
Well, I think we were composed. I mean, going into halftime, you say, okay, fellas, they're going to have another run here in the second half, and they got it early. But then we just settled down, and a lot of it started, quite honestly, with the rebounds that this guy got. Delgado had 10 boards in the first half. And that's what he does. But I mean, throughout the game, a constant theme was their offensive rebound led to points for them. And I think during that stretch, Isaac got some big defensive rebounds, and we limited them to one shot.
Starting Isaac for a second time, was that a reward for something done in practice, or was it strategic? What was behind that?
It's not a reward for what he's done in practice. He's worked hard, as is everyone else all year in practice. I just thought for this game, that was the best thing for this team.
And he had a stretch where he either scored or assisted on 14 points in a row. Just your thoughts on, I mean, I know you say you expect that from freshmen, but with this
that's
pretty remarkable run.
That's pretty good. I hadn't really, in the midst of the game, I didn't realize that. But that's pretty good. He's unselfish and he can score.
Coach, can you talk about the foul trouble that Josh and Mikhail got in the first half, and what's going through your mind when you see that they have 3 fouls, 8 minutes left in the first half, 10 minutes left in the first half?
I don't know whether I should articulate what was going through my mind. It was clear that it was going to be one of those games that we were going to have to, what I say all the time, figure it out. We were going to have to figure it out. And so, we ended up settling into a lineup with Isaac and Paul, I think, and Aaron in the front court, which we can do. And so we were able to hold on to get to the second half. And then that lineup actually, I think, was a lineup, I'm not exactly sure, that helped extend that lead during that run in the second half.
Isaac, just your thoughts on your performance today, especially after they tied at 44, you on that just huge run. Just your thoughts on that.
Going into the game, I knew I was going to start, so I felt like I had to, make up for the last game when I started. I just wanted to come out and be aggressive and do what my team wanted me to do. So I think I did a good job of that. What's
kind of going through your head to kind of keep you composed when there may be, kind of chaos going on around you?
Growing up, my dad always told me next play, so I just always think of that when we're getting down.
And Devontae, you just the composure too. You hit that 3 right after to put Georgetown back up again. Just on that play, what happened, and then can you talk about what happened after that too with Isaac kind of taking over there?
I think it was like a scramble rebound, and Paul ended up with the ball. He just swung it to me, and I shot it with nobody near me. And Isaac today, he played like a man today. Like that's how we need him to play for the remainder of the season, and continue to rebound for us like that.
Devontae, what's going through your mind when they go on that run to come back from that 2020 lead you guys built up? What's going through your head as a player?
At that point, it was just like stop the bleeding, make a play, do something to, get our team back together, kind of get the energy back towards our way.
Do you feel that, at least early on in the game, that your offense was able to feed off of the turnovers you guys were?
Yeah, for sure. The defense is, I think, why we executed so well offensively. Once you see, okay, we're getting stops and getting rebounds, we can get out in transition and we can, execute offensively.
Isaac, what was your comfort level playing the 5 in there when Josh and Mikhail were on the bench there in foul trouble?
I actually wasn't playing the 5. Paul was playing the 5 on offense, and defense I was just playing in the middle. So just had to use my length and athleticism, go and get rebounds and contest shots.
Over here on the right.
Devontae or Isaac, either one. After losing 2 in a row, 3 or 4, I mean, do you see this game as something you guys had to start winning again?
I mean, we definitely wanted to, come out here and take advantage of the opportunity, which we did. So, we can look forward to the next one and try to, continue to capitalize on the opportunities that we have.
John, just what can a win like this do for you going into a 7-day kind of sort of layoff?
I'm not sure whether we're going to look at it as this can do. I think that's what your world likes to write. This is going to lead them into a nice break, getting ready for St. John's. This is an important week for us. I just told the team, we have to get better this week. So it's not like it's just going to be about rest. It's not like it's just going to be about preparing for St. John's. It's going to be about both of those. But this is a big week for us where we have to get significantly better in a few areas as we look towards the end of the season.
John, in terms of the nature of the way that the conference has been, and it seems like almost anybody can beat almost anybody else. Do you think that the conference is helping itself with games like that in terms of profile, or do you think that actually the Big East teams are hurting one another?
Well, it's not a question of it seems like, that's the reality. And that is what happens when you have a league as strong as ours is from top to bottom. A lot of leagues are good, but the bottom's not that strong, and the bottom can't win against the top teams. Here in this league, 1 through 10, I've said it, the guys that covered me, you heard me say it many times, someone has to be number 1, someone has to be number 10, but once you get on the court, the difference is minuscule. And so, overall big picture, I have not stepped back to analyze, okay, is this hurting or helping? I think if you look at what we did as a group in out of conference portion of the schedule, it showed that we are one of the, if not the best conference. And so that's expected once you have the parity, the quality teams, the quality players that this league has, it's going to happen. So I don't know, you tell me, is it hurting or helping? Probably depends on how you guys write about it.
We don't get to decide who gets in.
No, but you can possibly shape those opinions.
Anything else?
Coach, you said Isaac starting as a matchup field tonight. Can we expect to see
I
him
haven't looked at
starting?
St. John's enough yet to answer that question, so I'm not sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.